we spoke to the cast of Apple TV Plus's The Completely Made Up Adventures of Dick Turpin. Here now is our conversation with the great Tamsin Greig. Before we get into this, I have to say black books might be one of my favorite things of all time, ever. And I'm convinced that 2024 might be a fun time for Bernard Black to look into ebooks. And I think he'll have a lot to say about the state of society today.
I mean, he had so little to say about books back in the day. And
that's true.
There'd have to be an e-version of Dylan Moran, wouldn't there?
Yes, there would. Dick Turpin's a great show. I had a wonderful time. I'm curious, though, when you approach a character like this, who is modern and contemporary, but in a period setting, as an actor, is that any different from how you would approach, say, another kind of comedic character?
Wow, you've really thought about this. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
What I thought about Lady Helen was that, first of all, she's not Ms. Helen or Mrs. Helen belonging to a man, but she's lady. So she's a lady. So she's known that she's a lady from the beginning. She's at the top of the pyramid. She's the head of the crime syndicate. She controls everything. And I thought about, if you had a family situation, which character in that family situation would have the most power? Now, you might think it would be the one who's been around the longest, who knows the most about the family. Actually, in a family situation, the one that holds the most power is the toddler, the one who's going to kick off at any point, who's going to refuse to eat their food, throw food, lie on the floor having a tantrum, because they're completely unbounded and investigating this new emotional world. And the adults have to listen. And so I just thought, well, put a toddler in the body of a woman in a big dress and see what happens.
You preempted my next question, which was whether the inspirations for Lady Helen were comedic, or were you leaning towards like the mafioso type, like the Sexy Beast stuff, or were you going comedic? But I see toddler. Now you're filling me with fear because I'm like 2 months away from my first. So that's going to be terrifying. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Well, just watch the show and you'll see that toddlers and children are unpredictable and will in some ways destroy you. So welcome. I do seem to be playing a lot of baddies at the moment, which is interesting and thrilling. I love. There seems to be a big well of buried rage that I can easily access.
They're very extreme characters. Is that something you enjoy doing?
I don't
like. Is it fun as an actor?
Yeah. I don't think the characters think they're extreme. The characters are surviving in extreme situations. I think probably the biggest challenge for me would be to play somebody incredibly ordinary. And maybe that says more about me as an actor. But I just love the style of this show. It's very laid back and conversational and surprising in its tone, given that it's a sort of period piece. But I just tried to think about her as an accessible character.
I was just speaking to Noel and Hugh, and I was saying how after the first episode, I got Blackadder meets drunk history vibes. Was maybe a little bit of Monty Python thrown in, and I think it's the perfect recipe for British comedy. I think everything just kind of falls into place. Was that the tone that you got as well when you were reading those scripts?
I think we have a lot of history in this country to draw from, and so that's that's great source material. But the thing is, we're all human beings, right? And I don't think human beings really change. We're all struggling with the same power dynamics and finding who we are in our situations. And, that's what I'm interested in, is how people survive their situations. I think probably there's an element of Blackadder that's in there. And, there may be moments of Miranda Richardson's Queen in there, of the one who is not going to get challenged by anybody. But also you think about the sort of comedies that I was watching as a child, like The Good Life. You see someone like Penelope Keith, who's guaranteed that people will listen to her. And I love that, that energy when someone who is supposed to be from an oppressed community, like women. Someone who comes in and just doesn't feel that they're going to be oppressed. There's no room for it. And I think that that's a really exciting counter argument.
Oh, beautiful. Tamsin, thank you so much. I'm all out of time. This has been a pleasure. You were so great. And congratulations on the show.
I want this dick in my hands as soon as possible.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, that did sound a bit weird, sorry.
The completely made-up adventures of Dick Turpin is now streaming on Apple TV+. What do you think of the show? Sound off in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.